Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass with another forecast update for you for this January the 8th, 2024. I'm hoping everybody had a great Monday out there so far. Hope everybody has a great Monday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the overview forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to be talking about this here a little bit here in the south, talk about the storm reports that came in as well. We'll go across that list there. There's the convective outlook. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the current watches, the warnings, and the current watches, that is, the MDS discussion. Also the storm reports that came in. And also we're going to take a look at the fire weather reports. Also we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook is this video on this topic here. We're going to let this thing come up here. Here you go. We got a marginal risk in southern Florida, slight risk in central Florida, central and northern Florida, all the way up into eastern North Carolina, much of South Carolina. You're an enhanced risk, slight risk there in the yellow, marginal risk there in the green, and general thunderstorm in the lighter green areas. Same over here toward you can see here we got a lot of today's video as well. Also, we're going to be taking a look at day 4. We do have more severe weather down in the south. Also, we're going to take a look at day 5 as we got another area of severe weather. A slight risk has been issued again for the same areas, which will get walloped tomorrow. We got another risk of severe weather coming up for your day number 4, which will be, well, day number 5, which is Friday. So we'll discuss that in today's video. Plus, we're going to take a look at the snowfall total across the lower 48 as well. We'll discuss that in today's video also. Alright, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and smash that subscribe button today and you're in. You get my forecast once per the forecast channel. Send them my way. Love to have them. Also share this information on social media to get my forecast channel out to more people and also get the word out about these severe weather events coming up. And also like these videos as well and share them. Like I said, share. As many people out there can share them. Also like all these videos I do as well. And let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. And as you can see here, we're looking at the overview from the Storm Prediction Center. You can see we got snow flying up here in portions of South Kansas activity in the general thunderstorm activity area from portions of Kansas, also in Oklahoma, all the way toward Georgia. There's the main severe weather event down here across the south, and the marginal risk is green. The slight risk, the yellow, and the enhanced risk. That's pretty much where the slight and enhanced risk, where we have the tornado watches ongoing. Alright, you can see here is the general thunderstorms in the green areas from Georgia back to, like I said, Oklahoma and also into Kansas. Marginal risk also extended proportion to Florida, the Florida Panhandle, also back over towards southeast Texas. And also the enhanced risk and slight risk area is there also. Alright, the current watches in effect. This is pretty much southeast Texas, southern Louisiana, all the way to southeast Louisiana, and also southern portions of Mississippi. This is where the tornado watches are currently in effect. These watches will continue to move to the east in a tornado watch box as well. Alright, the MDS discussion. This is just currently talking about a blizzard here. This is no severe weather. This is talking about maybe a concerning blizzard over portion of Kansas and also into southern Nebraska. The current storm reports, as of this recording, we had one tornado report, which was in Texas. Wind reports, we had 9. 0 was highs. So pretty much they took place over here in Portland, Louisiana, also in the South Texas. Hail report, that was the most number of reports so far with large hail. 5 of them were pretty large. So that brought the total number currently as of this recorded to 23. I would not be surprised to see these numbers increase as we continue to roll forward. But right now, here is the pretty much over southeast Texas, stretching all the way into southern Mississippi, where the severe weather took place from a tornado in southeast Texas, wind damage in southeast Texas, all the way over to southern Louisiana. Hail reports as far from far east as over here to Mississippi, and far west back to Texas as well. Alright, the fire weather currently elevated risk over here in southwest Texas and South Texas for elevated fire risk. Alright, now here's the big weather day for tomorrow. This is what everybody's talking about. As you can see here, we got general thunderstorms in Washington, Oregon State. General thunderstorms up here around Washington, D.C., extending all the way back into Kentucky. Also in Alabama, and also back into northwest Mississippi. Or northern Mississippi, northwest Alabama, excuse me. Alright, let this information refresh, and then we're going to walk through the steps once again. Alright, you can see here the marginal risk extending up here from southeast Virginia all the way back down to the Florida Panhandle. Also down across southern Florida, down to the Florida Keys. We have a slight risk in the yellow areas here, but the biggest area is the enhanced risk. I would not be surprised maybe a moderate risk could be added somewhere in this enhanced risk, but right now I'm just going with the enhanced. But I would not be surprised that a moderate risk could be issued anywhere in this area. So, but if you're in the enhanced risk area, this includes the following locations: Jacksonville, Florida; Tallahassee, Florida; Savannah, Georgia; Gainesville, Florida; and Fayetteville, North Carolina. Not included in this list include Columbia, South Carolina; Myrtle Beach, South Carolina; Lumberton, North Carolina; Wilmington, North Carolina; also up toward Morehead City, North Carolina as well. Alright, and also included Savannah, Georgia; Albany, Georgia; also toward Tallahassee, Florida; also toward Jacksonville, Florida as well. Alright, if you're in the slight risk area, this includes Charlotte, North Carolina; Raleigh, North Carolina; Tampa, Florida; St. Petersburg, Florida; and Greensboro, North Carolina. And if you're in the marginal risk, this includes Virginia Beach, Virginia; Atlanta, Georgia; Miami, Florida; Norfolk, Virginia; and Haley, Florida. Alright, let's take a look at the tornado probability for tomorrow. As you can see here, the 10% hash-slashed areas in the Carolinas, same down here in southwest Georgia, the Florida Panhandle, and southeastern Alabama. This is where we will see a EF2 tornado or larger. I would not be surprised to see an EF3 or EF4 maybe pop up out of this thing somewhere across the Carolinas, maybe down there across portions of Florida, maybe southwestern areas of Georgia as well. In the 5% risk area, you're expecting maybe up to an EF2, and in the green, any tornado can be EF0 up to EF2 or larger as well in the green area. Alright, now if we're looking at the category, this is for the tornado probability. These pretty much the same locations, significant and the 10% include Tallahassee, Florida; Fayetteville, North Carolina; Columbia, South Carolina; Charleston, South Carolina; and Wilmington, North Carolina. Alright, if you live in Jacksonville, Florida; Charlotte, North Carolina; Raleigh, North Carolina; Tampa, Florida; St. Petersburg, 5% risk for a tornado; Virginia Beach, Virginia; Miami, Florida; Norfolk, Virginia; Haley, Florida; and Chesapeake Bay, Virginia, 2% risk for a tornado. Alright, the categories once again, as you can see here, pretty much Jacksonville, Florida, all the way to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Slight risk, Charlotte, North Carolina to Greensboro, North Carolina. Also for marginal risk from Virginia Beach to Haley, Florida as well. Alright, let's move on to the damaging wind threat. As you can see here, we have the 30% hash-slashed area. This is where we're expecting hurricane force winds. Hurricane force winds. Repeat, hurricane force winds possible with winds up to 75 to maybe 85 miles per hour. I would not be surprised in this 30% risk area that could reach that away. But I'm expecting anywhere from about 70 miles per hour maybe few wind gusts up to 80 or 85 miles per hour in the 30% risk area. This includes northern Florida through the eastern Carolinas as well. All right, we have a 15% in the yellow areas and a 5% in the brown areas. All right, the significant severe weather area and the 30% area. This includes Jacksonville, Florida, Raleigh, North Carolina, Tallahassee, Florida, Savannah, Georgia, Gainesville, Florida, Fayetteville, North Carolina, for the significant severe weather and the 30% risk area. All right, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Greensboro, North Carolina, 15% risk of damage and winds. And if you live in Virginia Beach, Virginia, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, Norfolk, Virginia, and Haley, Florida, it is a 5% risk for damage and winds in the southeast. All right, the hail probability is only low, a little bit down here along the Gulf Coast. This includes Tallahassee, Florida, Dalton, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, Panama City, Florida, and Ferry Pass, Florida. So it's not a very big area for large hail. All right, now let's take a look at the category one more time for you, so that way you get a chance to see it. And the slight risk, the enhanced risk, would not be surprised. Maybe a moderate risk could be added to this area as well later forecast. Also, the green, pretty much the let it refresh again, and we'll get back to it. The green areas here, just only a marginal risk for severe weather. Lighter green, just general thunderstorms, and the slight risk area is the yellow. Also, we can't forget about you guys in Oregon and Washington State over here. Some general thunderstorm for you guys as well on your Tuesday. All right, now let's take a look at the watches, warnings, and advisory map for your location across the nation. We got a lot to discuss in this one here. Alright, we see wind advisories, high wind warnings extending from Texas all the way to the Florida region, all the way as far north as New York City, New York State, also toward Vermont, also into New Hampshire, also into Massachusetts region as well, and also Connecticut. All of these here in the brown area, these are wind advisories. Alright, we have winter storm watches in effect for Maine. High wind warnings in the yellow here across portion of Maine all the way back into New York State, stretching all the way down into North Georgia. Even some along the Carolina coastal areas. High wind warnings also in effect for portions of the Florida Panhandle all the way back into areas of Louisiana. We have a tornado watch that you've seen on that radar from southeast Texas all the way to southern Alabama. Also, we have flood warnings also in effect. Flood watches there also. Special marine warnings along coastal areas as well. Storm warnings have been posted for the coastal waters from Maine all the way down to the South Carolina coast. Small craft advisories also. High surface. Let's see. Gale warnings are also posted for South Carolina down to Florida, much of the Gulf of Mexico, and portions of the southern Atlantic Ocean. All right. Red flag warnings has been posted for South Texas. Blizzard warning here in the red for portion of New Mexico and the North Texas, also into Oklahoma, also into areas of Kansas, Nebraska, and also Colorado region. Winter storm warnings have been posted in the pink for Nebraska, also into Kansas as far east, as Wisconsin and also into Illinois. Also, we have winter weather advisories posted for you guys in Michigan, also in northern Michigan through Wisconsin, Minnesota, back down into Nebraska and also Colorado. Same proportions of north areas of Oklahoma back into Missouri. Illinois, Indiana, portion of Ohio, special weather statement there as well. Flood warning is also in effect for the Carolinas, also North Alabama for flooding for area rivers. We have more high wind warnings in effect for Montana back into portion of Wyoming. Wind advisory is also in effect for Nevada back into Washington, Oregon State. Blizzard warning there in effect for Oregon and Washington State. Winter storm warning is all in effect for the following states. Again, this includes Utah, also into Wyoming, also into portions of Idaho, Montana, Oregon, and Washington State, also Northern California. Also, we have hard freeze warnings in effect for Arizona. We have freeze warning, frost advisory for California, and also winter storm warnings there as well. Storm warning, gale warning in effect for portions of coastal areas of Washington State down to Southern California. All right, we have them flood watches and flood warnings for the Hawaiian Chain Island. around coastal Alaska. Storm warnings, also small craft advisories. Western areas, special weather statements, winter storm watches, and blizzard warnings for Alaska. Alright, finally we're going to wrap it up with a couple more segments here. Let's go back to day number 4, as we have some severe weather to talk about for your Thursday. As you can see, we have more severe weather developing in the south from Texas to Louisiana, also in the Mississippi and also southern Arkansas. 15% risk area. Marginal risk will outline this area as well. Alright, if you live in Houston, Texas, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, Jackson, Mississippi, and Pasadena, Texas, slight risk for severe weather coming up on your Thursday. Alright, let's move on to day number 5. This is your Friday outlook. We have a slight risk of severe weather once again from eastern Louisiana all the way back into North Carolina, southern Virginia, including South Carolina, Georgia, northern Florida, and also into areas of Alabama and Mississippi. Alright, if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Birmingham, Alabama, we have a slight risk of severe weather in this area once again. So this would be round 2 for weather across the deep south, and I do see more to come as we go forward. Right now, let's take a look at the predictability. Too low for day 6, take day 7, and day number 8, potential too low. We'll keep a check on this here and see what happens. As we continue. Okay, it's coming up, so hang on just a minute, folks. It should be coming up here. Alright. It's about to come up, standing from up here in southeast Canada, across southern Canada, southwestern Canada, over here in the western United States, over toward the Rocky Mountains. Also far south, the southeast may be out of snow once again. I would not be surprised to see that. We might be out of snowfall once again because we had 3 winter weather events in 2022. Usually when we have that many in one year, and usually about 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer before we have another one. So, but we could have a snow event, but right now it's looking unlikely at this time. So. And this here runs through the end of January, January 24. And like I said, you do not see any snow in South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia. So I would not be surprised. We might not even see no snow in South Carolina this winter either. So, but anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed this weather forecast. Please stay safe out there. Share these videos if you do not mind. Like these videos, share these videos. Consider subscribing if you have not. We'll catch you back in the next video. So have a wonderful, wonderful Monday evening, folks, and hunker down for tomorrow. Southeastern United States. I sure will.